Why hello there, and welcome to Yoga with Leif. Today's class is Feel Good Yoga for Mobility. Now this is a fairly open level class, but if you are a beginner, there might be a few challenges here. So just try to have lots of patience with yourself and you're going to be just fine. No need for any props or anything today, but if you'd like to maybe have a block or a book or something like that to support your hands on, and if you do have some trouble with your knees, you might want to have a little pillow or a blanket or towel, something like that to place under one of your knees, because we're going to have our knees down at a few times. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button to becoming a part of this yoga community and my online yoga studio. I would really love to have you here. But all right, guys, without further ado, let's get started. So just come to a nice comfortable sitting position. You might be here in Sukhasana or cross-legged, lotus, full lotus. Maybe if this is uncomfortable, have your legs out to the side, your choice. You might want to bring a block under your seat to come a little bit higher up here as well. So we're going to find some length in our spine, the chin coming down towards our chest, and then just closing our eyes or having a nice, soft, relaxed gaze. So for those of you who are working with your bandhas, the internal locks, can begin to explore these now, and maybe also begin to explore your ujjayi, this active, victorious breath. So then we're closing our mouth and breathing in and out through our nose. And if you'd like to set an intention for today's class, maybe just a simple focus, then you can do that now. And in your own tempo, when you're ready, we can begin to walk the hands a little bit further forward in front of us, finding some length in the spine, and then feel free to explore this movement here. So if you want to turn a little bit or maybe be curving the spine, lean side to side, then go ahead and do that. And on your next exhale, begin walking the hands back again to sitting. So our left hand is coming out to the side, our right arm is sending up and maybe over to find a nice side stretch. And of course, exploring this pose too, maybe rotating the arm, opening and lowering the heart. 2 more breaths. Final breath. Coming up on the exhale and then slowly over to the other side. Two. And 3. On the exhale, coming slowly, slowly, slowly up. So we're going to be twisting here to the right side. So breathing out, finding our deep twist, continuing through the neck and releasing. Opposite side, coming over, breathing in and out to go deeper into the twist. Breathing in, coming back to center, length through the spine, breathing out. One more time. And releasing. Next side, last time. Breathing out, finding that twist, and releasing the pose. Very nice. Shaking out the hands for a second. Bringing them up to shoulder height, breathing in, find that length, and then on the exhale, you're going to go ahead and give yourself a nice little hug here. So bringing the hands a little bit further back, walking the fingers, pulling the shoulders, elbows down, and then maybe curving the upper back. So feel this little stretch opening between the shoulder blades. And on your next inhale, we're going to open up, release, find that length. And on the exhale, crossing the opposite arm over this time. Same thing. 2. And 3. On the inhale, releasing the pose, opening up. From here, bringing our right hand behind us to our back. I'm just going to adjust here so you can see a little bit easier. And then our other hand is coming back. So grabbing the wrist or maybe the underarm, or coming all the way over and grabbing the elbow. So here, opening the heart and chest, keep the length in your spine, in with your chest, your ribs here. We'll do one more breath. Think of opening the front body, maybe pushing the elbows even further back. And releasing. Breathing in, find some length. And begin with the opposite hand first. So bringing over, coming back with the other one. Same thing. So find your variation. So maybe you're just grabbing here, the wrists or the forearms or the elbows. We'll do one more breath. Opening the front. And on the exhale, releasing, shaking out the arms. Okay, very nice. Coming up to all fours, so just roll over your legs or swing them out to the side, whatever is the easiest for you. So from our tabletop position, pressing the hands down, slight rotation in the arms, careful not to overextend the elbows. We're going to find our cat-cow. So on the inhale, opening the front body. And on the exhale, opening the back body. Continuing here, find your own tempo and speed, whatever feels right for you and your back today. We'll do one final round. Very nice. From here, sitting down onto hero pose, shaking out the hands. So we have just a little warm up for the hands. Bringing one hand in front, palm facing down, collect all your fingers and then pulling down. And we're just going to give ourselves a little push in here. And then maybe rotating your arm a little bit from the shoulder. Okay, releasing, changing. So turning up, palm, fingers pointing up, collect all the fingers and your thumb down and then grabbing a hold. So pushing in here, being careful with the wrist. This one can be a little bit more intense. And changing sides, shaking out the hand. So first palm down, collect all the fingers, bring your hand and then collecting, pushing a little bit against it, maybe rotating the arm. Very nice. Releasing here, rotating upwards, collecting, bringing down, and then a little press inwards. Final breath. Okay, releasing here, coming forwards to our plank position. So up on the balls of our feet, lifting up the knees. Taking a moment here, just feeling the activation in the arms, rotating. Thinking our hips are about the same height as our shoulders or a little bit lower. Pulling the stomach in, a little bit of length in our lower back. And from here, sending the hips up and back to our downward facing dog. So go ahead and explore the pose for a little bit. So doing whatever feels right and nice for you. Maybe walking the legs, sending the hips from side to side. Or think of doing a little bit of cat-cow here in down dog. We have one more breath. So we're going to breathe in, gaze between the hands on the exhale, bending both knees, slowly walking forwards. Try to keep some weight in your hands and straight arms the whole time. You're going to roll through the sole of your foot, spreading your toes for each step that you take. So there's no rush here whatsoever. Working with this body awareness, noticing what's going on through our feet and how the movement continues through the leg up into your hips and through your back. So folding over here, Uttanasana, standing forward fold, exploring the weight. And again, maybe walking the legs, folding the arms, hanging over, do a little twist for 2 more breaths. On your next exhale, releasing the hands. So one of your legs, I'm just going to take my right here. I'm going to do one or several steps back to our lunge and then dropping the knee. So any tension in the knee, this is a nice place to fold your mat double to place underneath or go up on the ball of your foot to press down to have a little bit less weight in your knee. So we're going to stretch and open the front of the thigh, pulling ourselves forwards here, finding that length. 3 breaths. 2. And 3. Breathing out, coming back again. So one step or maybe taking several, whatever you need.
and then changing legs. So shift of weight, spreading the toes, one or several steps back, dropping the knee, finding that stretch, front of the thigh. 1, 2, and 3. On the exhale, releasing the pose, coming forwards. So we're going to find our Malasana or Yogi squat. So walking the feet a little bit heel toe out to the side. Keep the whole sole of the foot, all the toes down. We're going to start lowering our hips. So maybe you don't get too far, that's okay. Keeping the knees pointing the same direction as the toes. So maybe you stop here. Maybe we're bringing our block to have a little bit of support further up. It's your choice. But maybe you are getting a bit further down. Then we're trying to find this length in the lower back, energy out to the top of our head, and then maybe using our elbows to push against our the inside of our legs. Bring the hands together. Couple of breaths here. So one arm down and out to the side, placing it on the floor. The other hand can come to the leg, pushing against. Finding our little twist in the spine, or maybe stretching the arm up towards the ceiling. Or another choice here would be bring the arm behind you, so what we were working with, opening the front of the shoulder and the chest, and maybe also finding a binding here. 3 breaths. 2. And 3. Exhaling, releasing the pose, finding the opposite side. So hand out, keeping the knees over the toes, finding our twist, opening up, or maybe going in for the binding. Your choice. On the next exhale, we're going to begin to release the pose. So straightening the knees, heel toe the feet back again. Hold, folding over. Shift the weight into the hands, walking the feet slowly back again to downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here for yourself. Finding the pose, the nice stretch. Find those strong, long arms rotating, spreading the shoulder blades. The bandhas are active, sending your breath into your chest. And on your next inhale, we're going to lift up one of the legs, coming up to our 3-legged dog. On the exhale, coming forwards to a high plank. Think knee to chest, curving the back, making some space underneath us. Now adjust whatever you have to, bringing the foot down. And then we're going to heel toe the foot out to the outside of our mat. Bringing both hands to the inside for dragon. Now you maybe want to stay here. The main focus is going to be the front of our thigh. If it's available, maybe you're coming down on your forearms. Then you might feel a bit of a stretch in the back of your thigh, maybe your seat as well. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can always press down on the ball of your foot, lifting that knee. Find the energy out through your heel, the top of your head, and finding length through your spine. So you have 5 breaths here. We're at 3. 4. And 5. Exhale, we're coming back again. Walking the hands up, heel toe, the foot back. And then we're going to send the hips backwards, opening up the back of the leg and our calf. Thinking the side bodies are the same length. Here it's really nice to be using our block, coming further up, maybe supporting on the leg or the thigh. Being careful not to push on your knee and push your knee backwards, okay? So 3, 4, and 5. On the exhale, coming forward. If you have your block, maybe bringing it with you or placing the hand down for a little twist. So hand on the thigh, opening the heart and chest, maybe gazing upwards. Also another option here, pressing down in the ball of your foot on the back leg, lifting the knee, maybe straightening the arm. And again, finding length out through the heel, your fingertips, top of your head. Deep breaths. 3, 4, and 5. On the exhale, coming down, releasing the pose, downward facing dog, and then changing sides. So our left leg on the inhale is coming up. On the exhale, coming forwards, tiger curl, holding here, find the pose, making some space, placing the foot down, the back knee, heel toe for dragon. So staying here, maybe it feels better for you to use a block or two to come a bit further up, or coming down on your forearms if that's available. Finding the same modifications on the first side for 5 breaths. 2. 3. 4. And 5. On the exhale, releasing the pose, coming up. Heel toe, the front foot underneath us again. Sending the hips backwards. Keep the length in your spine out through the top of your head. And again, maybe supporting, coming further up if that feels better. If you're doing this next to maybe your couch or coffee table, maybe you're holding onto those for balance. As long as we're finding the stretch in the back of our leg, then we're good. And 3. 4. And 5. Coming forwards on the exhale and then finding our twist. So maybe hand down or on the block, opening up. Option to go a little bit deeper. Fingers up, lifting the back knee, extending on each exhale. Maybe just a tiny, tiny bit more. And 2. 3. 4. And 5. On the exhale, coming down, releasing the pose, back to downward facing dog, walking it out. Couple of breaths here. So what we're going to do now, remember the modifications that we just did. We're doing the same sequence, but just going a little bit further and a little bit deeper. So if you felt like this was enough for you, just stick to what we just did, or we can go a little bit further and explore a little bit deeper poses. So when you're ready, your right leg is coming up, 3-legged dog, inhale. On the exhale, coming forwards, tiger curl. Placing the foot down, shift of weight, trying to keep the knee up this time. On the inhale, bringing the hands up. So we're going to find this stretch in the front of our thigh. So hips lowering down, down, down. Keeping the strong leg in the front. Straightening the knee and then sending some energy out through your heel and the top of your head. Keep the length in your spine, in with your stomach and your ribs. Deep breaths here. 3. 4. And 5. So staying here on the exhale, option to drop the back knee. We're going to straighten the front leg, finding our pyramid pose. So important to really push down the toes, your big toe, feeling the connection with your bandhas, active inside of your leg. And we're going to go the longest way over. Supporting on the thigh, the leg, maybe the hands on some blocks, or coming all the way down if that's available for you. So taking a few deep breaths here. 2. Now I'd rather what you do is that you have bent knees and a straight back rather than straight knees and a curved spine, okay? So try to find the difference there, really exploring the deeper stretch behind your thigh. 4. And 5. On the exhale, bending the front knee, we're going to find our twist. So same as before, option to go here or deeper, or maybe moving into Pavrita Trikonasana, revolve triangle. So that would mean pushing down in the front foot here, straightening out the knee, keeping the side bodies the same length, top of your head pointing towards the front of your mat. And the other hand up. Deep breaths. 2. 3, 4, and 5. On the exhale, releasing the pose, coming back to downward facing dog. So if you're feeling like this is maybe going a little bit too fast, then just take your time, do what you need here to adjust. I have to keep adjusting my shirt just to make sure that I'm not having the microphone like up into my beard. That doesn't sound very nice. Just gets all scratchy. Okay, left leg. On your inhale, calming up, find the three-legged dog. Exhale, coming forward. Tiger curl. Placing the foot down, so staying up. Shift of weight. Lifting the hands up off the floor, finding your balance. And then maybe stay here if you're good. Or hips lowering down. Keep the length in the knee, finding that energy out through your heel, top of your head, long spine. Deep breaths. 2, 3, 4. Maybe finding some more length and depth on the exhales. And 5. From here, pressing down in the front foot, calming up, straightening the knee, finding our pyramid pose, so leaning over, maybe supporting on the thigh, the leg, our blocks, or hands down on the floor. Yogi's choice. Keeping the side bodies the same length, so pulling the same as your standing leg, you're pulling that hip backwards, and then the leg that's behind you, you're pushing through that hip, okay? Length to the top of your head, staying here, or folding all the way over, if that's available. 3, 4, and 5. On the exhale, bending the front leg, finding our twist. So your choice, either modified or go into the full twist. And maybe even revolve triangle. So straightening out the front knee, keeping the same length in the side bodies, pressing down into that hand, the fingertips are pulling you up towards the sky. Deep breaths. 2, shoulders away from the ears, spreading the shoulder blades. 3, 4. Last breath here, guys, and 5. Exhale, coming back down, releasing the pose, downward facing dog. All right, very nice. Just walking the legs forwards, crossing, sitting down, and coming to our forward fold. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So totally feel free to keep the knees bent. We're pulling the toes towards us. Find the length through your spine, maybe using your hands up. On the exhale, we're going to fold the furthest way forwards. So maybe you'd rather just have your hands here for support, pushing forward, or grabbing, using a strap around your feet, or maybe Yogi's choice, you can grab your toes, your feet, however you like to. So finding that length, maybe straightening the knees a little bit more, and on the exhale, we're going to pull ourselves forwards, forwards, forwards. Deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. Being mindful of your thoughts. Where are you? 4. What are you thinking about? What would you like to be thinking about? On your next exhale, begin to release the pose. Very nice. We're going to be doing half cow face. So one of your legs lifting up, rotating from the hip. Okay, so we're not going to be twisting in our knees. Then you're going to place the lower leg on top of your thigh, right? So right above your knee. Now, maybe this is enough for you just to sit here. Maybe you want to help your hands on that external rotation and just opening up so you feel it in your hips. One option is going to be bring the hands behind you and bring the legs up. Find the length in the spine. But if it's available, maybe go a little bit deeper, cross the leg further and further over. Maybe have the knees on top of each other and then bringing that heel in towards your hip. Finding some length there, working over, or maybe the same thing, grab the foot. And then we have 5 breaths here as well. 1, 2, 3, 3. Think the arms are helping to pull forwards, using our core to find length, particularly in your lower spine. And the last exhale, releasing the pose, coming up. Very nice. Finding the opposite leg. So left leg lifting up, externally rotating, crossing over. Find your version. So maybe just sit here and help to open up, bringing the legs up or coming even further over. That heel in towards your hip, the knees down. Maybe it's enough to just sit here and help that knee. Yeah, remember nothing here should be uncomfortable or painful, that we've gone too far. So staying there, coming over, active leg below us, so flexing the foot, maybe grabbing a hold and using that pulling motion to come forwards. 2. So shoulders away, lengthen the spine. 3. 4. And one final inhale. 5. Release the pose, coming up. And opening up to the side for Upavishta Konasana. So we're spreading the legs out wide, working the inside of our thighs. From here, same thing, maybe keep the knees bent, flexing the toes. Focus is here, so hands behind, pushing the hips forwards to find that stretch. Maybe just sitting here and opening the heart, or if you feel like bringing the hands in front of you and walking a bit forwards, then go ahead and do that. 5 deep breaths. And 1. 2. 3. 4. Maybe see if we can go a little bit deeper on the exhales. And 5. Gently releasing the pose, collecting our legs. Oh, use your hands for some help there, shaking them out. Okay. So we're just going to come down to the floor for a few breaths and stretch out the body a little bit more before a little rest. So come to laying down on your mat, grabbing the knees. We're going to rock a little bit side to side, back and forth. Think of massaging your back into your mat. Maybe closing your eyes here. And moving the awareness a little bit more inwards. So we're going to start making some circles with the knees. So think of relaxing the legs and your hips as much as possible. And it's only your hands and your arms that are active here. So just starting in one direction, using the hands to make some large circles. Think of drawing some circles with your knees, especially relaxing the inside of the thighs and your hips. Totally relaxed here. Last breath. And we're going to go ahead and change directions, so opposite way. Two. And 3. On the exhale, bring the soles of the feet to the floor, knees pointing up. We're going to have a little twist here, so just dropping both knees down to one side. If you want to go a little bit deeper, then you can think of collecting the legs, bringing the inner thighs together. Trying to keep both shoulders down, maybe gazing over to the side, straightening out the arm, or have the elbow bent. Yogi's choice. Deep breaths. 1. 2. 3. 4. And one final breath. Releasing the pose, coming back up, taking as much time as you need here. Find the length in the spine, straightening out the body again before dropping the legs over to the opposite side. Deep breaths. 1. So the counting, it's not necessarily the amount of breaths that you need to take. If you feel like breathing a little bit faster or slower, then you can always do that. So the counting, the numbers, it's more just like a guide. 3. 4. And 5. Releasing the pose, coming back up, preparing for the rest. So thinking you have the choice, the option today, either full Shavasana, like we normally do, or maybe doing Supta Baddha Konasana, so bringing the soles of the feet together, just dropping the knees down, and spending a few moments here. So you can have your hands on the inside of your thighs as an extra weight, or just out to the side, maybe have your hands over your head, and cactus arms. I like to bind the index and middle finger here, just to keep the hands over the head. For me, I like that to get that extra stretch opening up. Finding the pose that works for you, we're just going to take a few deep breaths here. Releasing the internal locks, the bandhas. Releasing our active Ujjayi breath. Releasing any tensions in the body. Sinking deeper and deeper into the mat. And moving our awareness inwards. And noticing what today's practice has done for the body. So without really thinking anything here or judging anything, we're just noticing. How do things feel? So feel free to just stay here and rest as long as you need. Or if you feel ready, you could begin to collect the legs. Maybe use your hands for some extra support. In your own tempo, rolling over to one of your sides. And taking all the time that you need to come up to sitting. Finding a nice, comfortable sitting position. Some length in your spine and neck. Keeping the eyes closed or having a nice, soft gaze. And taking a moment here for ourselves. And bringing our hands together in front of our heart, thumbs against our chest. And giving each other, but especially ourselves, a big thanks for today, for showing up on the mat, giving yourself this gift of yoga. And gently bowing our heads in gratitude for today's practice. Namaste. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you got something out of this class. If you did, I'd love to hear your experience down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button to join this online yoga studio. And I'll see all your beautiful faces in the next one. Peace. Namaste. Have a fantastic day.